What's good with y'all, man? So today, I'm about to start making these videos real quick, but today I got a few things I want to talk about. It's my little notebook, but today's topic is there's no wrong way to communicate with God. Like, I think that us as a society and us being programmed or indoctrinated since a young age, we're taught to believe that you can only talk to Jesus or you can only talk to God through religion or God through something outside of yourself. And I'm here to tell you that that is very true, but it is also other ways that you can talk to God and you can commune with God. Like right now, I'm at the river. This is my sanctuary. This is where I commune with God. This is where I talk to myself. I talk to God. Talk to my spirit guides, my angels, my higher self, whatever we want to call it. You know, there's so many other resources that we can utilize to build and strengthen that bond within ourselves with God and our surroundings and everybody around us, from the trees to the animals to the ground to the sky to, you know what I mean, to the water, all the elements. But things that have helped me, like numbers, I feel like seeing number sequences or patterns or different things, these can be notifications from your angels or from the unseen, from the spiritual realm that is trying to contact you or teach you or show you something, giving you a message, whether it's to bless you or whether it's to warn you or a lot of different other things. Like animals, a lot of times that I sit out here at the river and I'm just isolated by myself, you know, and just being deep meditative thought. And like sometimes I'll be thinking something and then I'll see like all these squirrels running by, or I'll see a deer running by, or I see an eagle fly over me, or I see a vulture or something like that. And I know it may seem weird and stuff, but it's truly not. It's like I always go and look up what that specific spirit animal totem is at that time, based off of my thought and what I'm feeling, and seeing if it aligns. And sometimes we get messages through the animals and the surroundings, you know, that it just works like really crazy. It's like, I don't know, I guess I'm just saying, like, don't ever feel like you can't be connected to God or you don't have a relationship with God just because of what you were programmed into. Like, before you even came to this room and before you even knew what the Bible was or knew what the Quran was or all these other texts, it's like you already were encoded genetically about what is right and what is wrong. You've already been programmed internally to know how to navigate through these waters of life in the ups and down tides, you know. And when you get back to basics, then that's when everything becomes simple, you know, the simplistic state. We have to remain in a simplistic state, because the more complex we are, the further we are away from God and the further we are away from nature. And it causes a lot of unbalance and disharmony in our life. And then it plays out through our physical experiences with, you know, bad relationships with our friends, our families, or our work, or different things to try to give us a wake-up call or to try to realign us within our purpose and our soul mission. And like, another note that I put was, you can talk to God anyway. I see people jogging, I see people riding bikes, I see people sitting, I see people meditating, breathing, doing yoga. Like, you could literally talk to God in any way. You could talk to God brushing your teeth, you could talk to God in the shower, you could talk to God doing your hair, you could talk to God any type of way. Don't ever feel that you have to be inside of a temple or you have to be inside of a church to commune with God, when your body is the temple. And it says 2 or more gathered in the midst, Christ, or 2 or more gathered together, Christ is in the middle. That spirit, that two spirits, two individual minds coming together and agreeing on something creates that alpha mind, I would say, or that supreme being mind, or whatever, that energy, the Trinity, you know. So It's like we got to stop thinking so hocus pocus about things and stop overthinking all of these things because of what we've been programmed to believe. Because everything that we've learned has been passed down from man and from generation and all these other things. It was created by men. And yes, some of these people were just like you and myself, and some people, you know, were inspired by the word of God, and they were inspired by the Spirit of God to be able to direct and be able to, you know, write some of the books or write some of their opinions or different things or their story, their truth down to where we could utilize it and it helps us, you know. And it's like, but that shouldn't determine that that's the only way that you can connect to God, or that's what you have to follow to connect to God. It's a simple blueprint of how we should live. If you think about this, it's like, we know that God loves us, right? And if you're a parent, you know that you love your children, and sometimes you give your children instructions and you tell them that they have to do certain things because you've already experienced it and you know what the outcome will be. You know that it will lead to something bad. If you say, don't go to a party, or don't go to this person's house, or don't do drugs, or don't do this, or whatever, and they may not understand it, and they may rebel, and they may run away, and they may do exactly what you tell them not to until they understand what you were telling them. And sometimes it's like, I feel like with God, that's all it is. It's like God cares about every single one of us, no matter what age, no matter what sex, no matter what race, anything, you know, like God cares about all of us. So of course he's going to give us some instructions and a blueprint to what we should do and what we should not do. And we do have the free will, just like as children do to the parents. You know, children, do for their parents, and parents allow their children to have free will. At the end of the day, you can't monitor every single action of what someone does, but if you give a set of instructions, then that can be programmed into a person's mind or into a person's being to keep them from making decisions that may not be the best decisions for them. And it's all out of love. And I think if you interpret any text like that and you read it out of the right heart and the right mind frame, then you'll actually receive the message, opposed to seeing, oh, the Bible was created by men, and this was created by men, and they just this, and this is all this, and it's the white man enslaved us, and all that. I'm not saying that none of this is true, but there's always a message, and there's always truth in something, and there's always a message in everything. And you take what works for you. You take the best parts of what works for you and what you can utilize it for your life to look and progress in a positive manner and to evolve in a positive manner. You feel me? Like it's always going to be some kind of things where, I mean, we live in a physical realm. It's always going to be lies. It's always going to be manipulation. It's always going to be different things. But are you going to fall victim to saying, I don't have a relationship with God because I didn't read any text, and I didn't do these things because of X, Y, and Z, because the world does this, or these people did this, or I know the history behind this? It's like, that's great. You know, I know the history and stuff too, but that doesn't keep me from applying what I know. I was born Christian, and I believe in Christ, you know, and I have learned a lot of other things from a lot of other religions, you know, Kemetic, the Quran, Hinduism, all these different religions and ways of thoughts and ways of spirituality, and a lot of them tie in together and still show, you know, what it's all really pointing back to. So to me, in my perception, it's like, I know that Christ came in a form in a different time period of Horus. You know what I mean? I know that Mary came in a form of a different time as Isis, and you know, it's like in Osiris and all this. It's like we could break it down. You know what I mean? Like between the sun deity in those religions, between the moon deity in those religions. You know, what I feel is neither one of them are wrong, because they all incorporate and work together anyway. But it's just more about you taking what works for you. It's usually harder to just denounce your whole faith or denounce something that you were brought up into, or that you were programmed into, or that was your way of life, and that was your resource, your life source, by going to a certain religion or a certain way of thought or a certain ritual or certain mannerisms. You know what I mean? Like, my advice would be to keep what makes you strong, is to keep what you grew up on and to build off of that. You know, everything that we go through happens for a reason. Everything we experience happens for a reason, the good or the bad. And we're supposed to take the good from the good and build up on that. And we're supposed to take the good from the bad and build up on that. And like, we can all do it, you know? Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, another thing. This is kind of just like my first little thing, so I'm kind of all over the place. You'll notice when I make more videos, it's more, I may take notes and I may, you know, touch on some of the things that I'm taking notes and sharing, but for the most part, I just usually channel consciousness or channel energy. So it may seem like I'm scatterbrained, but I'm really not scatterbrained. I'm just tapping into different energy streams. But the other thing I was going to say was about entities and how they're used against you. Like when you're asleep, when you partying, when you having sex, when you hitting licks, when you doing all of this stuff of the world, right? The devil already has you. That lower Satan self, that lower energy already has you bound in its vibration. So there's no reason for them to try to use you when you are willingly giving yourself to be used. Now, when you wake up and you see and you're like, okay, I can't live this way anymore. There's something wrong, or I need to do different. Then you'll see friends coming out of nowhere, hitting you back up. You'll see exes coming back into your life. You'll have problems at your work. You'll have problems within your family. You have problems within your spouse, within everything, you know, like when you can't be touched, when you have control over your sovereign being and your emotions and your mind, and you're aware of your surroundings, you're aware of situations that happen, the only way that these entities can get through to you is by the closest thing to you. So you have to look around right now and say, who is the closest people in my life? Who are the people that are around me in my life, in my circle? And I guarantee you, regardless if it's your mother, regardless if it's your spouse, regardless if it's your coworker, your boss, I guarantee you, if those people are not awake, I guarantee you, they're being used as an entity, possessed with energy or entity through their thought frame, their thought form, and they're being used to go against you. They're being used to attack you in sometimes subtle ways, sometimes direct ways. But either way it goes, it's like these things are real, and it's very important to keep your energy high. It's very important to stay positive. It's very important to get fresh air. It's very important to get sun. It's very important to drink water. It's very important to do a lot of these different things to counteract with these energies that are going to attack you, and these energies that be. And when you move out of love, you move out of positivity without any hate and any ill intention in your heart, you will always be protected no matter what you're going through in your life, no matter how bad it may seem, no matter anything, you know. And the whole point of going through these things are to realign you with your faith, realign you with yourself, to center you, to bring you back to ground zero, to the middle point, to the center, you know. And from there, you build up on that. And like some examples that I have is like, I don't really have any examples right now, but as far as the entity thing or whatever, it could, like I kind of gave examples, like people will do things to you to get you to react out of a normal way of operation from how you react. That's how you know that you're being attacked. You're being oppressed by lower energy or other entities or other thought forms that don't want you to be in the zone that you're in. You feel me? It's like a big old game. You get it? Like, we live in a matrix. This is not real. The things that I'm telling you are real. It says that we don't fight against flesh and blood, meaning we don't, when we're arguing with our girls or we're arguing with our partners or whatever, or anybody, we're really truly not arguing over what that person did to us or how they made us feel and all these different things. What we're arguing with behind the scenes and within that is that person's spiritual entities and that person's spiritual energy, and then your spiritual energy and your spiritual entity. So depending on where you're at, or depending on what you have operating through you at that time, you either be able to come into balance and create harmony amongst those kind of situations, or you always going to be at discord amongst those situations. It just comes down to a person being genuine and transparent and saying, you know what? No matter how wise, no matter how enlightened I am, no matter how much I love Christ, and no matter how much I know I'm protected, I'm still here in a human form, and I'm susceptible to this just as well as you are. And when you understand that and you give yourself that power and that authority to say, you know what, like, this is real. These things happen to everybody. This can happen to me. Then it brings your awareness up. Then once you're aware of yourself, then you can see it. When you feel it happening yourself, or you see it happening to yourself, then you'll be able to determine how it's happening through everybody else in your situations and your circumstances. You'll be able to counteract it. You feel me? Another thing is, to attack you, what they do is try to like slander your character, gossip behind you, anything to stir you emotionally or mentally. The point is for you to break. The point is for you to dim your light. The point is for you to shut up. The point is for you to step out of truth. The point is for you to put your tail between your legs out of fear from threats and out of fear from gang stalkings and all these other things that they think that is under the radar, but is really not under the radar when you're in spirit. So don't be alarmed. Don't be scared. Don't be nothing. Just keep your faith. Walk in faith. Keep your head up. Be positive. You show love in every situation. Evil cannot fight evil. The only thing that can overcome evil and overcome that way of thought or energy is love. That's it. Being positive, rising above. And a lot of times you feel like you're getting the short end of the stick. I know that I do. But what I will say is sometimes that plays out in my physical reality, but in my spiritual and my emotional reality, it's like I'm being blessed. And then that's manifesting to my physical reality. You get what I'm saying? It's like I'm fighting all of these energies, these things that are trying to slay me and keep me away from my mission and tell me I'm not nothing, and find all of the bad things that I've done in life, from putting my hands on other people, putting my hands on women, robbing things, a lot of bad things, you know what I mean? Like a lot of bad things. And these are things that I did when I was lost. These are things that I did when I didn't know I was being manipulated, and I'm not that person. I once was that person. I do have those energies within myself, but I'm not that person. And these energies try to slander you. They'll use you. They'll use you, you know what I mean? And try to slander your character and make other people think that you're crazy, and make other people think of you in a certain type of light without actually getting to know who you are. Because the whole point is for you to dim your light, for you to shut your light off. Because one little light, picture it like this. If we're in the night, right? We're in pitch black light, and you have a lighter, and you turn your lighter on, that's going to illuminate a lot of the darkness that is around you. You may not be able to see every single step or whatever, every inch from a lighter, but you'll see the light within the darkness. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when you think of these things, if you kept a light on like that, or you kept your lighter on long enough, then bugs will start coming to the light. People want that energy. You get what I'm saying? It's like moths, flies, all these things flock to the light. It's no different from spiritual vampires or other people that can see your energy, feel your energy. They may not know anything about you, but they want that energy. So they'll do whatever they need to do to get that energy. If you're not cool with them, then they'll turn against you for you to react so they can still get your energy. If you're cool with them, then they want to be a part of your life so they can get your energy. It's like, and some people can even play the part as the wolves in sheep clothing, you know what I mean? Just to get your energy. But then when they leave and get knowledge and get all these things, they'll talk about you. They'll talk bad about you. They'll wish bad about you. They'll have envy in their heart. They'll be jealous. They'll be trying to take your tactics, trying to model who you are, all the way down to how you think, how you talk, how you dress. And anybody who does that, I mean, to me, in my opinion, you're a zombie. You're not even yourself. If you have to mimic someone else, or you see that something is working for someone else, and you have to follow that wave to be who you are, or to try to get the same attention or light or something, that's false. Like, you're not going to get that same attention because that's not your frequency, that's not your vibration, or you would be doing it by yourself anyway. So it's like, you got to watch for people like that, man. There's a lot of people in my life that are like that I truly know, but I still give love. It may not be as much. It may be from a distance. It may be sometimes or something, because I don't want to disrespect them on their journey, or cut people out on their journey too prematurely, because a lot of people did that with me, and I didn't have anyone on this journey. I had to figure this out on my own. And I wish that I had some people that were a little bit more patient with me and a little more understanding and showed a little bit more love, because I always knew that I had it within me my whole time. I was just battling a spiritual situation and experience. And just be careful, man, out here with who you share your information with, what you share, how much you share. Keep your sacred thoughts, your inner heart thoughts, your sacred thoughts. Keep those to yourself. Go talk to God about that. Write it down, express, use journal stuff. Don't share your creative ideas with people that you may not be able to trust, because I've done that too. And a lot of people have taken my ideas and my concepts and my ways of thought and my way of energy to try to shapeshift it as if it was them. And it's not, and it will never be effective, because it's not their energy. No matter what they do, no matter how much they try to act like me or do things like me, it will never be. That's the same for if I try to act like someone else or be them. It will never be as effective, because that's not me operating out of my own personal optimum energy. So really, I would be doing myself a disservice, and I would be doing others a disservice. So I don't know. I wrote this concept down, the tic-tac-toe concept. Tic-tac-toe, like 3 in a row. You know, we play that game, tic-tac-toe. And sometimes you be so focused on winning that you lose. You know what I mean? You might miss the box, or you might move too fast, and then you think that you made a move and you put the X in a little box, and then the other person come and put that circle in there and they got 3 in a row. It's like, so don't ever don't ever be so worried about winning to where you don't see somebody else's moves. You know what I mean? Like sit back and observe, take your time with different things. And I don't know, because everybody's just waiting for you to slip. You know what I mean? Everybody's waiting for you to slip. Everybody's waiting for you to fall, so they'll have a reason to put that X in that box and tic-tac-toe you, you know? Don't give them no reason. Don't fall. Don't sell yourself short. Don't ever sell yourself short, you feel me? Like, just be who you are, man. Just be who you are. I don't really know what else much to say. I already been talking for 25 minutes. It didn't even feel like it, but I just want y'all to be prepared for what is really going on out here. Like I said, this first little couple videos, it's more just free talk, free flow. But as I continue to make videos, I'll get a lot more organized. I'll have actual topics. I'll put things down where, you know, people we can discuss. I can do live things and we can actually discuss things. You can ask questions. I can give my perception or how I perceive it through my reality or my lens. And if it's something that you vibrate with, then it's something. If not, then it doesn't. I'm very open to hearing other people's perceptions and way of thought as well. Like, I'm not closed down in my own truth to where I can't hear anyone else's, because no matter who it is, from the homeless person all the way to the CEO, everybody has a message and everybody has a voice. And I feel like it's our duty and our job as human beings that show love and compassion to be open to everybody, even if we don't agree or understand. It's just about giving someone the floor and giving someone, you know, their power to be able to utilize their voice and their expression. So, what else? I guess that's about it for today. Got these crystals on. See the crystals, man. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Everybody have a blessed day today. You know what I mean? Drink water. Get you some water, man. Water is very crucial. Drink lots of water. I gotta drink some more water too. But y'all have a blessed day today, man. Stay positive, stay grounded, and move out of love at all times. Love y'all, man.